Hello everyone and welcome to FreeCodeCamp Intermediate Algorithm Scripting Challenges. Today we confront the last challenge, which is Map the Debris. Map the Debris is intended as a challenge to imitate the space, astronomy, informatics, like computer science in space. I guess. So it's a mix of mathematics, astronomy, and of course coding. With our algorithm, we need to return a result that makes sense for satellites or space objects. It's basically, we need to transform some values here, I think the average altitude, with some constants, and then return a new array or the same array transformed, because it doesn't specify that we cannot manipulate the array, with the name of the space object and its orbital period. It has some link to a Wikipedia website where they explain how this works. Basically, we need to look for this, like we need to do this mathematical equation, but then here I have it here saved in a tab so that we have it as reference. So what I did here is it said var gm var earth radius in lowercase. I was like, let's stick to the conventions. So the conventions say that constants should be uppercased, like real constants should be uppercased, and they should be const because they do not change, they are always the same. You will see that very often in production code. Constants are put at the beginning of a file and they are all uppercase. Then I did a forage loop. A forage loop allows you to do something with every item. Now I can actually remove the parentheses here, and then I loop over that array. So the input array, it could be one object, but it could also be several objects. That's why I am doing a for each loop, to loop over every object. Now we got our object here, first object and last one in this case, and we call that with an alias of, I called it space object. You can call it whatever you want. Initially I had called it satellite, but I saw that there was also ISS, which is a space station, and moon, which is, I think it's technically also a satellite. I don't know how you could call the moon technically. Anyways, I just called it space object, so anything that floats in space. And yeah, from that space object, we actually create a new attribute, orbital period, and that new attribute is gonna be basically this function. So this function says we multiply pi with 2 and we multiply all of that with the square root of a, so a was actually the earth radius to the power of 3 divided by the gravitational mass. Yeah, or GM, let's say GM. How we do that, you can see that here, math round 2 times math pi, math square root. So it's all with the math, J is math object. So if you look it up, JavaScript math object, it's gonna have a reference of everything that we can do with that. There are also external libraries to use mathematical operations with JavaScript, but they are external and we want to use vanilla JavaScript, so we want to use JavaScript by itself. So then we got math pow, and here we specify by the power of what, and it's the earth radius plus, so it's not only the earth radius, it's that a variable is the earth radius plus the average altitude of the space object, and all divided by gm. Well, not all, but you know, this, yeah. And since we do not need the average altitude anymore after calculating the orbital period, we can just delete it. And this is how you delete a property from an object, just saying delete. And that will work for every space object that we have, so for every element of this array, and afterwards when we are done we just return the array. So I think that was, I mean, if you know how to implement this formula, that's the meat of the problem. But after that, like, I would say it doesn't require very advanced coding. So if we run the tests, we pass them, and we have finished the intermediate algorithm scripting challenges. Now we can move on to the advanced algorithm challenges, which will give us a very well-deserved piece of paper, which is our certification. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I would highly appreciate it if you like this video and comment, and share it with your grandma or with anyone you love or appreciate, with anyone you wish, and subscribe to this channel. There's more content coming up, not only coding, also my experiences, like what I've lived through as a developer. Yeah, also finance. Like, I really like finance. So stay tuned and see you next time. Thanks and bye bye.